Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Burnout continues. I was planning on doing my e-survey for my homeowners insurance company today anyway. And just as I was setting up to record, they texted me and we're like, hey, we've noticed that you haven't started your survey yet. To start now, click here. Dude, like, I think I got the email saying I was going to get an email about it on Wednesday. It's a holiday weekend, and you just expected me to do it yesterday? Like, slow your roll. Have some chill. What the fuck? Like, this is so triggering. Ugh. Um, it like totally ties in with something I've been hearing a lot about with like the signs of autism, like unrecognized signs of autism. And one of them is appointment stress. Um, I definitely have that. I have had that since I've been an adult. I am terrible about making appointments because it just it's a break from routine and it stresses me out and I also just don't like calling people I don't know. So even calling to make the appointment is stressful. I love places where I'm able to book online, where I can just see their calendar and take my time choosing a date and time that works for me. That takes a ton of the stress out. But then I still have to then request the time off work, and if I have enough hours, I prefer just to take a whole day. Like it is so stressful to me to work and also do an appointment. Like that's just too many things in one day. Um, my brain just does not function properly if I have an appointment. And even something on my to-do list, like this home e-survey thing from my insurance company. Like I knew that I wanted to get it done today, and um, I don't think that I'm going to be able to relax until I've gotten that done and done my Costco Instacart order because I am running out of food. So I definitely need to do that today. Um, and then I might be able to relax, although I have not installed any of my rat excluders yet on my garage or any of my doors. So, um, yeah, I might need to do that. And I got a vent cover for my roof vent, so I also need to install that. And I don't think I'm going to be able to relax until I've done at least one of those things because now it's the actual weekend and I am running out of time to get these things done because tomorrow is my regular chore day. Sunday is I have to spread wood chips in my chicken run. Some of my grass is getting long. It might be a good idea to mow or weed whack. Oh, and I have that pile of brush from my brush removal project in my driveway that I should start cutting up and putting in the bin now that it's empty. Yeah, I have a lot to do. So, and if I try to relax, like all of that stuff is just going to keep churning in my brain. I am incapable of like turning it off and saying, yeah, I've allocated this time to it. Like until I get it done, it will keep just clawing at me and reminding me that it needs to happen. And I always thought that that was due to the way I'd been raised because I was not allowed to hang out with my friends until all my chores were done on the weekends, which sometimes meant my friends like coming over early in the morning and then having to sit around for a couple hours while I vacuumed and cleaned bathrooms and did all that stuff. Um, Occasionally they'd try to help me, but since they did not have to do those chores at home, the quality was not the same, and my mom would make me redo it if their job wasn't up to par. So I eventually just did it myself, and would just make them wait for me to play. So I thought that was the reason, but now I'm learning that it's a trait of autism to not be able to relax until things are done, or like if there's an appointment, or and I consider this an appointment. Like if the insurance company is going to keep harassing me until I do it, it's definitely an appointment. But yeah. Um, and then, kind of in line with that, is interruption anxiety. And oh my God, I am not braiding my hair again. I'm so discombobulated and out of sorts. I am going to start braiding my hair. Let me grab my brush. Um, and I was so flabbergasted the first time I heard this was a part of autism, but I have a really hard time concentrating on anything I'm doing if there's even one other person in the house. Even if we're doing separate activities, like I'm in here in my studio and someone is out like in the living room watching TV, like part of my awareness would be constantly listening for whether they were coming to talk to me or not. I cannot fully relax if there's another person around. It's it's just like impossible. And part of that is, I think, due to the fact that I'm really prone to jump scares. Like I can get into deep hyper focus, and then someone could be like right behind me and just like say hey, and I would jump out of my skin, or that used to happen. And I think that might be part of why now I'm like hyper vigilant if there's anyone else around. But that means that it's exhausting. Like I can't, like my brain is doing a lot all at the same time. It's trying to focus on whatever I'm working on, and um, trying to decode all the sounds coming from the rest of the house and discern if they are anything I'm going to have to respond to soon. And it's obnoxious, and it makes me irritable. It makes me really irritable. And for a long time, I buried that irritation. I had a partner who was super prone to losing things years ago, and I was super good at knowing where everything was for some reason. And so all the time, like pretty much every day, he'd barge in on me wherever I was, like whether I was reading or watching TV or making art, whatever I was doing. Hey, Jules, have you seen blah, blah, blah? Like totally taking me out of my focus. And then I'd be like, yeah, it's such and such. And it was pretty much always where I said it was. Whatever had misplaced. Which is why he kept doing that, because I was so good at it. But um, it was really frustrating for me, and and I didn't feel like I could like be upset about it. So I just buried my irritation for years, and now it's all coming up to the surface. Now that I've been away from him for quite a long time. Um, I think my last partner actually kind of did that too. And I saw another video about autism, and particularly female autism, and how they tend to have a long trail of broken relationships and friendships behind them, because part of the reason is because we tend to just mask through them and put up with like microaggressions and passive aggression for a long time, until all of a sudden we shut down. And I've always known that I was prone to this. I've called it my blast doors. Like I won't even know that I'm like getting to this point sometimes. But all of a sudden, someone will do something like kind of seemingly innocuous or like not that big of a deal, but my blast doors will shut. And when the blast doors shut, it's like all empathy towards them turns off. Like all all caring about what they think about me, it just it's like it just shuts down. And when that happens, I can't repair it. Like I've tried in the past, but it's always felt forced after the blast doors shut. Um, there's no repair. And I thought that was just a really weird thing about me. But it seems like it's actually kind of a common scenario for autistic women in particular, which is really fascinating. And I'm wondering if it has to do with the fact that we don't always know what we're feeling when we're feeling it. Um, Things can really build up physically and emotionally before we become aware of them. Um, I don't personally have this problem with my bladder, but apparently it's really common, for people to like not know that they need to pee until like they have to pee like 30 seconds ago. I'm really grateful that that is not a problem I have, but I think it is connected to the same kind of thing, like emotional distress and physical distress, and not really knowing until it is, past the point of no return, that that those signals have been lost. And it's extremely frustrating. It's extremely frustrating. You can't explain it. Like, well, why didn't you tell me sooner? Why didn't you communicate your needs sooner? I didn't know. I literally didn't know. And this explains too so many of my like relationship problems. Like, um, I'm thinking of one relationship in particular where that person would always like know when I was starting to get upset or like unhappy with something, and they would want to like talk it out right then, and I'm like, I don't know, like I literally can't talk about it right now, like I don't know. And they never believed me. They're like, yes you do, like let's just work it out right now. I don't want it to like sit and fester. And like I can't, like I really don't know what's wrong in the moment. Like I can tell I'm unhappy, but I don't know why. Like I have to let it percolate. I have to let it like mix around and then bubble back up to the surface later. Sorry. And yeah, and I think that partner possibly was also autistic because, um, I was listening to, I think an Orion. No, I was listening to something with an autistic man recently, talking to an autistic woman, on a podcast, and and he was like, "Yeah, I always want to." No, he was talking to a psychologist or psychiatrist, I don't know. Um, but he was like, "I want to. I always want to like work it out right then." And she was a relationship counselor, and she was like, "No, like you need to schedule these talks, for later, like once, um, you've both been able to cool down and, really like parse out like what you're feeling and what's going on." Um, Trying to force your partner to talk about it when they're not ready will not have the desired result. So yeah, it's like so fascinating and validating to like be learning all of these things that explain so much of my experience. And it is also like showing me that I have a lot to grieve. There's so much I've like beat myself up about and like thought I was just like wrong and I couldn't figure out like why my experience was so different from so many people. And I thought that like I think this is why I've been so addicted to self-help. Like, if I can just find the right book that can teach me the right process, I can get on top of this and I can figure it out and I can interact with people normally. And I don't think that's the case. I don't think I can self-help my way out of autism. I don't think I can do that. And that is both kind of a relief and extremely frustrating. And now I have to figure out how, instead of figuring out how to make me work with the rest of society and life, I have to figure out how to make my life work for me. And since I currently have very little support structure, I'm doing pretty much everything on my own. I really don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't know. I don't know. But I believe that everything can work out and will work out if I am patient, if I keep showing up every day with compassion for myself and just doing the best I can with what I have, moment by moment, as much as possible. Catching myself when I'm ruminating, writing when I can to get that shit out of my head. Um, and yeah, I won't say that all the self-help books have been useless. Like, there's a reason that I talk about them. There's a reason that I put them in my bookshop shop, um, which I have links to in my description and my bio. I get a 10% commission on purchases through those links. All of those books have been enormously helpful to me and have given me tools to help me cope. But I'm still autistic, and I always will be. ADHD. So yeah, yeah. So that's fun. Anyway, that's what I've got today. I hope that wherever you are being kind to yourself, no matter what is happening in your life. I love you so much. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be wealthy. May you feel at ease. Until next time. Bye-bye.